Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching this video and for watching that vlog. It was definitely a unique one, probably my most unique one, because it was just basically a road trip. And I had a lot of fun making it, don't get me wrong, but did I also have as much fun driving 2 days straight? My name is Chris, where I make fun reviews for movies and more, so if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you can stay updated with more fun reviews uploaded weekly. Now this road trip, specifically on the East Coast, is probably one of the most iconic or most popular road trips you could do in America, because you do go through majority of the East Coast states in America. I've done this road trip so many times in my life, probably 7 times, right around there, but for more or less, around 7 times, because it all started when I transferred schools back in New York, where I was raised in community college, down to South Florida, technically the University of South Florida in Tampa. Ever since then, a lot of road trips back and forth, as you can imagine. Now, I would say it is around an 18-hour drive, and it also depends on where you live in these states, whether if you live like way upstate in New York or way down south in Florida. For example, if I'm in Tampa, if you guys don't know this, from Tampa, which is kind of central, from Tampa to Miami is like another 4 hours. So that's why it does vary where you live in these states. But overall, I would say on average, definitely around 18 hours. But definitely many memories with great people on all these trips. It was absolutely fun. However, this is definitely my last one because I'm not doing this no more. I'm just not. This specific trip with my father and dog was mainly because I wanted to visit for Thanksgiving last year, but since I had my dog, I didn't want to have to deal with figuring out the flights. Plus, we had some extra storage to bring back, so that was helpful with the extra space in the car. And there was definitely some fun bonding time on this trip, since it was a guy's trip, and I lost count who had to use the bathroom the most, either my dad or the damn dog. I'm good. I could go all day. However, it is best to stop around 3 hours just to get out of the car and stretch. And the rest stops are a must, so thank God they usually have them at the beginning, middle, and end of every state. And surprisingly, my dog is impressive too. I think he really likes these road trips, but really he probably just has separation anxiety and just glad to be close to us wherever or whatever we're doing. I would break this review out into like pros and cons like I normally do for my videos, but for this type of experience, I mean, the pros and the cons are like one and the same. I mean, just for example, either if you're visiting or stopping at the south of the border, this is, I don't know if the words is, I don't know if I could use iconic or popular, or just something fun to look at, because this place has always been low quality for as long as I can remember. I mean, I love the branding, and maybe a few decades ago it used to be a fun mini amusement park type of place, but as of lately it's just a fun place to stop with a Mexican theme, and also many gift shops and arcades. And it's also located between North and South Carolina, hence the name south of the border, since it's right on that southern border of North Carolina and north border of South Carolina. I wish someone would fix this up, since it would be a great destination, since you're pretty much almost halfway there on the road trip. Now, with the nature on the road trip, as in the scenery, I would say it is beautiful. I would also say the ride was smooth with like very nice pavement. However, after a while, once you realize the majority of this trip, especially in the southern states, right, when you're talking like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, it's mainly straight roads and nothing but trees. You can imagine, although there is beauty in that, it does get very old and boring after a while. And also with the fun advertisements with the billboards, at first you'd be like, oh wow, look at that billboard, look at that billboard, right? But it's the same stuff after a while, the same shit. It's the same restaurants. Crackle Barrel, okay, I already saw that 5 times couple hours ago. Or McDonald's, Starbucks. I mean, you could go on with the same type of food establishments on these billboards. Now, some people are crazy. They would drive straight through the night. Like, obviously they have to stop, but they wouldn't spend the night somewhere. Now, I did this one time with my best friend, and I remember he was crying in the car. He was really crying. He's like, Chris, pull over. We gonna crash. We gonna die. And I was the one driving like, no, we gotta do this, because I was motivated. I was going back to college. I was on my grind. Let's go. But it's probably not worth it, right? Because it's not worth it, because by the time you get to wherever you're going, it's in the middle of the night anyway. It's like 3 a.m. and you have to sleep regardless. So I definitely did not do that again. I did it once. I wouldn't do it again, but it is worth stopping somewhere just to get a few hours night rest. However, if you do decide to stay the night somewhere, such as a motel, which is the cheapest option, I would suggest staying far away from Super 8, because this was the worst motel experience I ever had. I'm talking about, I lost count of how many cockroaches I found. So it was like, you know what? Let's just get some sleep for a few hours and keep them moving and act like we've never been here before, because I never seen so many roaches ever. It was definitely disgusting. And you also don't want to overspend for a hotel just a few hours away, so try to do your research beforehand. We usually always spend the night in North Carolina, since that's definitely a good halfway point. Now, you're probably wondering, like, why don't you just get on a flight and fly? And yes, you're right. That's what I'm getting at right now. You would think it would be cheaper, if anything, to drive to New York or Florida rather than pay for a flight. But when you think about it, from my experience, after all these trips, like, hold up, we kind of spend a lot of money over here. By the time you stop for I lost count how many times you have to stop to get gas. And on top of that, you got to stop to eat lunch, maybe breakfast, dinner. And on top of that, if you do stay the night, you got to find a motel, a hotel. All that stuff, all those expenses will add up. And yes, it will probably definitely be still cheaper than a flight. But by how much are we talking? Like $50, $100? Because in reality, when you think about it, the most important thing in life is time, right? Would you rather pay $100 extra and go on a 3-hour flight, or save a little money, get in your car, risk your safety, waste your time, you know what I mean? And spend 18 hours, definitely 2 days driving. Big comparisons there. And that's why I feel like if you're going to drive, it has to be for a specific reason. With all that being said, I will admit this. It is definitely a great experience for one to maybe try at least once in their life, depending on the situation, like I just said, such as if they are moving or they can't fly. It's not as bad as you think if you just prepare mentally beforehand and are ready to make at least 3 stops each day and also spend the night. There isn't much traffic at all unless you're in the northern states. And as for doing this road trip consistently, I would not recommend, because it's just not worth your time, money, safety, and focus.
Come let we go, road trip. Come let we go, come let we go. Let we take a road trip.
But let me know down in the comments if you've ever done this classic American road trip on the East Coast of America, or if you plan to do so. I hope this review has helped you either get ready for that or maybe change your mind and hop on a flight. But let me know down in the comments your thoughts on that. If you enjoyed this vlog, I had fun making it. That was a good experience. Definitely a one and done final thing. I've done it in the past, but no more vlogging road trips unless I go out west. I've never been out west before. Let me know down in the comments if there's other classic road trips in America. I hear all about like Route 66, all that shit, driving the desert. That does sound kind of boring. Way more boring than this. Plus, God forbid something happens, you're in the desert. I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to end this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you click that like button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe also. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.